So it has been an absolute scorcher today for a bank holiday Monday. I was a bit unlucky, I had to work, but I was home by tea time. So you can tell it's a bank holiday because you can probably hear people trimming their gardens there in the background. So I hope you too had some lovely weather. And I've come home now, given everything a thorough watering as it's been so hot and the garden was so dry. I did do it last night, but with this weather now and the temperatures the way they are, it needs watering quite often. So let's take a look around and I'll show you how the garden looks after a good water. So it's about 8:30 now in the evening and it's still about 30 degrees, which is totally unbelievable for the UK. So I did rush out after work to Zoa's Garden Centre. As bank holidays, you've just got to buy some new plants, and I just managed to catch them before they were closing up for the day. So I was lucky just to go in and have a quick look around, and I came out with new plants. So this first one here is something that I've wanted for a long time, and I love the bronzy colour leaves on it. So this little plant here is green at the moment, but it is going to go a lovely bronzy colour. And this is a Rodgersia Bronze Peacock. Now this was $11.99. So this apparently, I didn't know much about them, but it's got lovely leaf shape on it, and apparently it's semi-evergreen, so if the weather is a little bit cold in the winter, it will lose its foliage and die back under the ground. So it depends really on how mild the winter is or how severe. And I also picked up a few begonias, and this is a mixed pack here of begonias. And these always grow into lovely sized plants, and I particularly like the bronzy ones, and they are ideal just for popping around the garden. And I do like to place a few of them around by the wildlife pond. So we are due to have yet another scorching day tomorrow, and the temperatures are set to reach about 35 degrees yet again, and the overnight temperatures tonight are going no lower than about 17, which is totally unbelievable really. Britain is not used to having weather like this, but I doubt if it'll last. So I watered the garden, I think it was about 6:30, and it hasn't taken long really now for the pathways to dry out. And everything is looking wonderful in the garden. Just look at that Schefflera now. That's darkened up now from a few days ago. Beautiful new growth there on the top. Absolutely wonderful. Just look at that. Such a pleasure to see. So I've been having a little look now just around by the wildlife pond. It's quite shady here. I've got plenty of ferns, and I've been looking for somewhere that I can pop the new plant, and I quite like it just underneath the Fatsia japonica there, and I think that'll help to just break up the green of the ferns, just to have a little bit of a darker purple shade there. I'll have to move one of the elephant's ears back slightly, but I think that would fit in quite nice there. So obviously I haven't popped it in yet, it's still in the pot. But what do you think? So looking at that now from a different angle, Just imagine those leaves now when they get a little bit larger. Beautiful there. Slightly different colour and a different texture, which all adds interest into the planting. So looking now at the more arid bed, and just to the left of that, I've got a lovely fern there. Beautiful colour on this fern. And this is an autumn fern. So when it first comes out, sometimes it dies back, sometimes it doesn't, but I do cut it back. And it comes out with almost black coloured fronds. Now they turn to a beautiful bronzy shade and then to green. Lovely. And these larger leaves here, just to the left hand side, these are the leaves of the Hellebore tutu. Now the flowers now have finished, so I cut them away, but it leaves me with a beautiful leaf. Lovely. Just look at that. Huge leaves and so healthy. So just outside the greenhouse, where the oleander and the agapanthus fireworks are, I've just brought down here now my dahlias. So they were being eaten in the greenhouse, but just look at them now. So they do seem now to be over the worst, and they are getting a little bit of growth on them at last. And all the salvias are doing well in the garden. They're growing beautifully. But I was just worried about my purple and bloom, as it doesn't seem to be growing. But looking at it today, you might just be able to see there, it's actually coming up now through the soil. So my GMs now are looking a little bit flat. These are the Coral Tempest. But just behind that, if you remember, I planted a jasmine against the arbour. And that is coming really well now. So I've just given that now a water too. And that's coming wonderfully. Now this banana here, this was our first banana. If I just move this leaf out of the way a little bit. So you can see now I'm 5'2", so you can see just how tall this banana is now. I wouldn't like to say how tall this is. Now this is the one that we did lose to the ground on the first year. And just look how big now this has become. Solid as a rock. And it's so healthy. And it's also given us one pup, which is doing really well. Really enjoyed a good watering tonight. Now the last 2 days has been so hot, so I've been coming out in the evening and spraying down the tree ferns, and they really do enjoy a good mist now in the evenings, just to keep them damp, as you don't want them drying out. And this one is just on another level this year. So I think this has been in now for 2 years. Yes, it's been through 2 winters. So maybe this one is its 3rd year. So this was bought on a 2-foot trunk. So the trunk hasn't really got much taller, but it's definitely gone wider. It's filled out quite a bit. The health on this tree fern is doing absolutely amazing. And this too has had a really good mist in today. So it's just a quick little update today, just to show you now how the garden is looking after a good watering. And those leaves now are absolutely wonderful. The loquat tree is doing really well. And the tetrapanax is just getting taller day by day. Amazing leaves on that. So Tony's new chamaerops in the pot has just had water. And you will see that in the background there, that's where I keep 2 of my water butts. Now I did have 3 water butts there, but they were jutting out just away from the outhouse. So by removing one of them and moving it to a different part of the garden, that has enabled me now to tuck them away where they can't really be seen. And just look how big now this plant is, the Euphorbia John Phillips. So like I said, I'm 5'2", and I think it's actually taller than me now, if you can just see me at the back there. And these flower spikes are bigger than my head. Massive. So it's Tuesday now, and we've had much the same weather as we had yesterday. So the temperatures went up to 35 degrees. I've just come home from work now at 7 p.m. and look at that sky up there, and it's still 30 degrees at the moment. Beautiful blue sky. Such a change from the normal rain that we have in Wales. So I've just popped in my new plant now, the Rodgersia, and that should grow now lovely there. So I've got my elephant's ears at the front and plenty of ferns and a cuba. And I think looking at this area now, I actually really enjoy a shady garden. This is the shadier part of the garden. It's where I've got all my hearts, tongues, ferns. Beautiful. So I've just given this area of the garden a good water. The rest of the garden will be fine for another day, but I do want to keep these ferns lovely and hydrated here. So when I do come home from work and the weather is nice, I do like to come out into the garden and just have a little look around, make sure everything's in order. And I had a little bit of a shock tonight as my arid bed here with the yucca rostrata. My little older cat, he's finally found it, and I think he thought it was a giant litter tray. So let's just hope that that's a one-off and not something that he's going to do regular. And in the other little arid bed, the avatifolia is just enjoying the last of the evening sun, basking away. And it said on the radio today that last night was the hottest night ever recorded in Britain in the month of May, and the temperatures didn't go down here under 21 degrees, which is unbelievable. But all of the plants now are really putting on some new growth and really enjoying this extra warmth in the garden. And I'm really enjoying this part of the garden now. So I really hope that you've enjoyed having a little look around the garden today. And I hope too that you are having some amazing weather in your part of the country. So if you haven't already, please like, comment and subscribe, as this really helps the channel to grow. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.